Well, I wanted to pick up on some of the themes I introduced on my YouTube recording attempt. There is a way to record directly up onto YouTube and then post that, and that's what I was exploring with. But I've tried several approaches now, and it still freezes up a little bit on the video. So I'm trying this different approach where I just make the recording on my computer uh, and then upload the finished product and see how that works. Um, it seemed to work well for Barney. There's a couple of reasons I want to explore this particular technology. One is so students can post videos of themselves reporting on something or commenting on something if they like. But also, we'll have teachers around the country, and we won't all be able to come in and have videos made to post on your course. And this course takes up time to edit and so forth. I've been kind of spoiled in that respect, and so now I'm playing a little catch up on, well, how can I use the computer itself to uh, make the video presentations I would like to. So, uh, encourage all of you to explore with YouTube. We do have some guidelines that we can send out if we need to. I don't know how far along Greg is with that, but if there's an interest, we'll continue to pursue that. So, getting back to the subject at hand, we are in the week that we need to pull together the report on our dark side. And I said a few things about this in my audio with pictures that I put at the end of last week. It's worth looking at. Some of that I'll go over again. There's an essential practice that I'm inviting here. And there's a particular reason for this because we're training ourselves to be a way of knowing in relationship to what's going on in the world and how to plan scenarios and how we prepare ourselves is essential. So when we begin to work with this dark side program, we found that there were many reactions, and much of the discussion has been great on this process. Inviting this exploration of reflexive relationship to it, what's going on with your shadow in relationship to the material you're looking at, and how to liberate yourself in that context, and how to build this sense of loving presence so that when you engage anything in the dark side of things, see in the area of reflected reality and the duality world we live in, there's always conflict and adversity, so everything polarizes. Like if you do something good here, something bad is also created. And if you do something bad, there's also a good that polarizes. Well, to work with transforming that into loving, we need to take the third aspect of the triangle, which is the transcendent element of the loving. And this, so it's a transforming into loving, not a transforming into a better city or a better, those are all side effects. So we're using everything or learning to use everything to transform ourselves into loving. So the Dark Side Project, I'm suggesting you be very focused and sparse and precise and clean in the way you state your theory or thesis and the way you post your evidence or illustration of that. So it's not like posting a video that, oh, this is an anecdotal demonstration of it. It's like extracting. You can footnote it with that. But it's like extracting from that the essence, distilling out the focused statement in one paragraph that evidence is about. And so that we don't get pulled off into complexity. You get pulled off into complexity of the dark side, and that, in a sense, is the dark side as well. See, so anytime we start to try to capture this through analysis or through the sense of who we are in terms of reflection, we're actually doing a dark side process. So it's not about fixing, it's not about liberating in that sense. So when we look at the reflexive part and look at our shadow in relationship to that, we're able to bring loving to those places, and in other words, transform those places inside of us to loving, so that we then, in that relationship to the reality we live in, that there's a chemistry for the loving to come into the world. So by keeping it sparse, it's easier then to look at your reflective relationship to that and emphasize that. So again, the reflexive part of the paper is likely to be a bit, more extensive, pages, a few pages, where the first part is as condensed as you can make it. And that allows then this more relaxation and liberty. So there's very much the process of stilling yourself in the beginning before you start writing. Being present with yourself, being more into that deepening place that takes you into the transformation into loving place, and to work from there to work with your data, work with your information. And so exploring more of that capacity to work with transforming yourself into loving based on your dark side experience. What this does then is prepare us to, when we move into this scenario work, there's different ways to approach the scenario work. One is a rational approach, one's more of an intuitive approach. Well, the Dark Side Project prepares us to go deeper, perhaps, and use more an intuitive approach in a way that may be a dimension that is not in the book or not in some of the ways scenario planning has developed to this point. See, so we're staging ourselves differently in terms of approaching the scenario project, with a dimension that is not as strongly emphasized in the scenario material. We do need to understand the field and what's being done, and the rational tools for that, because those may be valuable at some point. But we're building ourselves as an instrument so that we're have this capacity to see the depth of life. So when we approach Oxfam, which is our target organization, first we study what we can find out about Oxfam. And then I'm actually asking you to then fill out a perceptive sense of Oxfam. In other words, we may create a story of what Oxfam is based on the information we have. And the reason for this is just to facilitate our process, so that when we go into, well, what's the progression through time, what's the possible future of this organization, what it may have to deal with, we have a basis, a sense of reality of that organization for us to work with. And some of this, in a sense, we're going to fictionalize, hopefully not idealize, but fill in the pieces so that we can pay more attention to the scenario project. And in a sense, by doing that, we're also then creating a scenario of Oxfam. So that, in other words, the scenario chooses how to take this organism and follow through into the future and be able to respond in a way that's creative, generative, more able to fulfill its mission based on the contingencies. And so then also we'll have a great sensitivity to the kinds of forces that exist in the world to support or derail something like Oxfam in terms of its service. So just distilling myself and taking a look at this and seeing if there's anything else I would like to bring your attention to. We're a key resource. Transformational leadership has to do with a consciousness. And so by practicing resolving shadows in ourselves in response to shadow in the world, it builds up a reflexive depth of where we can go into ourselves and access insight, access awareness, be able to intuit an organization like Oxfam in a deeper way than possibly a rational approach could, and perhaps even somebody in the setting might even understand. And then able to get hold of the stream of how the flow of evolution is occurring in the world and the probabilities of how that might go from the inside. See? So we have to take the duality and move into the transcendent to get that dimension. It's not the transcendent isn't something separate, it's something in at a deeper level. That's the implicate order of things that's going to unfold into this. So that's the challenge that's we're in the midst of. So enjoy discovering what you can from the book. Enjoy completing your paper in a way that the cohort can, each one of us in the cohort can look at each one of those things and gain from what your work has been. And then we'll be ready for the residency to bring all this together and take the next step with it. Okay then. So, God bless.